Is this the perfect gravel tire? Is this the all-arounder that you've been looking for? Well, maybe not, but let's talk about it. Little disclosure, I am not paid, sponsored, or branded with any company, and I did pay for these tires on my own. So all these thoughts and opinions on this tire is solely my own. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. And on top of that disclosure, real quick, this is not like a full spec. I'm gonna give you and tell you everything about this tire. There's other reviews and other people out there that can give you that information. I'm gonna give you my opinion, what I think about this tire, what I like, I don't like about the tire, just from an average consumer. I don't need to get into the details. I just wanna tell you my thoughts on it. Easy peasy. All right, Pinto, enough with all this intro, disclosures, things. You're killing us, you're dragging it on. What is the tire? Well, it is a Schwalbe Thunderbird. I know. That's an XC tire. Just wait, let's talk about this tire. So for starters, yes, this is officially an XC tire, but if you actually look at the tread on this, it definitely simulates more like a gravel tire. The tread on it has a little bit chunkier tread on the sides and a little bit smaller tread down the middle. In my opinion, it's pretty much a gravel tire for a mountain bike, but now that we have awesome tire clearance on our gravel bikes, we can run these bigger suckers. So this is the Schwalbe Thunderbird. I am running it in 2.1, which I believe is a little bit over a 53. I purchased these back in May and now have just a little over 700 miles. Let's talk about likes, dislikes of this tire, why I think it's a pretty awesome tire for where I live, what I ride out here in Nevada. Our gravel is technically hardtail mountain bike. Mountain bike tire kind of makes sense, right? Out here, I think this tire does phenomenal. Do I think this tire is going to work for everybody? Probably not. But if you are out riding big chunky stuff, want some comfort, this could be a tire you want to look at. Likes, dislikes. Let's get into the likes. Starting off with tread. I really like the tread on this. It's not overly aggressive. It's kind of right in that little middle sweet spot where you have some nice bigger tread on the side for cornering, and then you got some smaller stuff right down the center, which helps with grip, but also rolling resistance. I really like the tread on this. It's been handling really well where I'm at. I do have a mix of really hard packed dirt as well as some looser kind of gravel, a lot of rock gardens, a lot of single track. I put this tire through its paces and I can honestly say the tread for most of what I ride is pretty excellent. I really like it. I think it's just enough. At times it can be maybe not enough. We'll get into that in a second. Another like, obviously, it's a 2.1. Comfort. It's a comfortable tire. It's a big tire. So yes, it's going to be comfortable. It's nice to ride this around. I really like that. I like the volume of the tire. It sits really well. I will also say another like how easy it was to get it seated and put on a rim. Some tires and brands, for whatever reason, can be an absolute pain to get on the rim. This tire, I had no issue setting it up tubeless, popped right on, dry seated it, then put my sealant in, no issues. Have had no issues with it coming off the bead at all. Absolutely held its own. That's always a good thing. Another like, I think they look really good. I mean, a big old fat tire on a gravel bike looks pretty rad in my opinion, especially if you have it matched to a nice rim. Yeah, big fat tires on a gravel bike, so I like the way they look. Awesome tread, good looks. The weight, surprisingly, it does not weigh or does not feel like it weighs much more than my 45s that I was running before this. So I really like that. I like the fact that I was actually surprised how much it didn't feel like I was getting bogged down by having this big old tire. That's really nice in my opinion. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm dragging around weight. Doesn't feel like, you know, it's hindering me on anything. Now, aside from all my likes, before we go ahead and jump into dislikes, there's one thing I actually really love about this tire, and I think that really makes this such an incredible tire. And that is the fact of rolling resistance. This thing is stupid fast. And I'm not just talking stupid fast on dirt. On road, I was really blown away at the rolling resistance, the speed that this thing is able to do. I hop on the road, and yes, it's not a tire you want to run on the road, obviously, but I hop on the road and no problem, 18, 20 mile an hour average with this tire. Honestly, I think it rolls better than the 45s had on here previously or any other tire I've had on here previously. It rolls really freaking good. On tarmac, I am blown away at how well this rolls. It's got some amazing rolling resistance. And again, being low weight, it doesn't feel like I'm having to put down any extra power on climbs or on the straights to get this thing moving. It just cruises. Now, you get it out on dirt, even better out there, it hauls ass. Freaking love that about this tire, is the rolling resistance. Okay. Dislikes? Why is this not the perfect gravel tire? I've got a few gripes about this tire that just really keeps it from being amazing. Obviously, they're not very cheap. Most tires, most cycling equipment nowadays is not cheap. So when you're paying a higher dollar for a tire, and it doesn't last very long, yeah, that's definitely a dislike. Wear and tear, I dislike. I have basically filed down most of the center tread on this by riding it. The center tread is definitely losing its grip. I'm noticing it sliding out a little bit more on climbs. Like I said, I have about 700 miles on it, and I think around 500 miles was when I started noticing the tread in the middle wearing down a lot. The outer tread for the cornering still is good. As much as I like the tread and the tread profile, the wear and tear and the tread is kind of also a dislike. That being said, I also dislike the fact that it does not do so great in looser stuff, more so climbing wise. Portola, there was a couple loose climbs and I could just feel myself, that rear end just sliding out a little bit, trying to find a little bit of traction. So that's a dislike. Again, another dislike on the wear and tear is the protection on this thing. While most of my riding out here has been good, there's been a few places that I've ridden and it punctured quite a lot just by hitting a rock the wrong way or something. I have quite a few punctures on this tire, and that was before I even hit 500 miles on it. So yeah, puncture protection is not the greatest. If you're gonna go out and ride somewhere with sharp or loose, gravel, dirt, whatever, probably not the tire. It punctures pretty easy, so that is a big dislike. So those are my main dislikes on the tire. Yeah, doesn't last very long being a race tire, obviously. Yeah, the tread is not the greatest in loose stuff, and yeah, it's not great for anything sharp. Okay, final thoughts on this tire. What's it good for? Who should run it? Am I gonna buy it again? I love this tire. I was fully blown away how well this tire was fresh out the box. And with that being said, this is a great race tire, and I think it would be awesome if you had a set of rims that you could leave it on a set of rims and had the right race courses and just solely raced it. It is not a very good everyday driver because of how much it wears down so quickly. I would buy this tire again, but I'd only really buy it if I was going to be racing and wanted a fast tire that had just enough grip on some more hard packed or a longer ride. I don't think I would buy it again for my everyday adventures, my long days out on the bike. But that being said, 2.1, it's a mountain bike tire. Works phenomenal on the single track, does really well. I just think it makes more sense as a race tire, and you got to be really picky what course you're racing on and the terrain and the rocks, because that puncture resistant is not so good. Wonderful tires, but the puncture resistance and the wear and tear kind of leaves it off my table as not the perfect gravel tire, and it's not something that I would be running all the time. The front tire is holding up fairly better. The tread looks all right down the middle. So obviously I could swap out front and rear. I think really for me, maybe just a little bit better protection, a little bit bigger grip down the middle that doesn't wear down so fast, and it'd be awesome. Just not what I need for my adventures. Might be the right tire for you, maybe not. Yeah, you want a fast race tire? There it is. Just pick the right race course to run it on. Otherwise, you will be trying to plug this thing, and being a bigger tire takes a couple more plugs. I have a few holes here that took more than one plug. I think I got one hole that took 3 plugs. So yeah, great tire, just not for what I need, but it has convinced me that I absolutely love running a 2.1. I love running a mountain bike tire on my gravel bike, and being that it did not feel sluggish, it's really got me, okay, let's find the next one. What is the one that I want to run, that I can run for what I need? Hope y'all enjoyed that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have a tire suggestion I should be looking at, or any other questions I can answer that I may have not answered. And with that, see y'all next time.